It may sound strange to link digestion and thinking as Chinese medicine does, but even in the West we have this notion. We talk of ideas as food for thought. We need time to ruminate on particularly complex ones. The particular aspect of thought that we equate with digestion is the capacity to study and memorize. In other words, the processing and refining of information. Much like digestion, when we are using this faculty, we break information down into different and usable forms. You experience clarity of thought when you are slightly hungry and mental sluggishness after a large meal, because both activities rely on the same functional resource. There is a certain intuitive logic to this, and applying this view can lead to some interesting benefits. Perhaps the most obvious is not to eat and perform mental work at the same time. Digestion works better when you avoid reading, studying, worrying, conducting business, or things like that while eating. And the reciprocal of this is also true. Our clarity of thought and mental sharpness are best when we are not using this capacity to digest food. Incidentally, worry is considered the negative or damaging form of this aspect of thinking. It is like compulsively chewing the same thing over and over with no actual resolution or digestion occurring. What would this look like in our lives? Ideally, when you're eating, you should just be eating. Sounds obvious, right? But how often are we watching television or planning what's next? And when we look up, the plate is empty, we barely tasted our food, let alone chewed it. Eat slowly, savor the experience and the flavors. If we're dining with people, our conversation should be light and enjoyable. Allow yourself to become engrossed in the experience of eating. It is truly one of the pleasures of life. Before returning to the day's activities, allow yourself time to digest. The ideal would be an hour or two, but I realize that this is not feasible for most. Even carving out half an hour for a gentle walk would do wonders to clear our heads and stomachs. If you're like me, this sounds great and maybe even inspiring. You think to yourself, this is what I will do from now on, and then consistently remember it only when you look down at your empty plate and realized you inhaled your meal and forgot to taste it. One way to work this into your life is to develop the habit of reminding yourself at the beginning of a meal to eat slowly, to savor and chew. This can be a form of saying grace. If you regularly give thanks before a meal, it will be easy to incorporate a call to mindfulness.